You got the echo going.
Good morning, everybody. Woo! Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to this President's Day installment of the Two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 504. We
Ooh,
do welcome you back, everybody. Good morning.
yeah.
With me, I have in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio Mike, who's
What
sick
up?
as hell.
Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm not doing too great either, man. I'm doing better. I got to say that I'm doing better. If we would have had to do
Mm-hmm.
this show yesterday, it wouldn't have happened.
Oh, same here.
But today I think I woke up and I have just enough edge to do
Like
what
I
we're
don't
gonna
have a
do.
my voice is killing me right now, so I'm all congested. This is going to be a great show.
Yeah,
Great
same.
sounding show. I look terrible as always, even
Hmm.
worse than normal.
I was gonna say, yeah, what's the big difference? You look the same.
I don't have to say it, jackass.
Welcome back. Yes, it was a long we had a long weekend here. We didn't want to take Friday off, but unfortunately here in the area, at least, I don't know how it is around the rest of the great nation, but I do know that around here there's something going around, and
All
I
right,
got it in the
like
middle of the week last week, and by the time it really hit me, it was Friday. Whenever Friday came around, it really hit me. So I continued to just pound vitamin C and take necessary medications as the days went on, and here we are Monday morning. I'm just well enough. I'm just well enough to do this. Um, but here we are. We're back, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers.
I got my tea and my honey. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
I don't have any whiskey to put in it, so I don't know how medicinal it really is.
Derpy's okay though. Derpy, you're not fighting any ailments or anything, are you?
Nope.
Unfortunately, Derpy's doing well. I
Well,
mean, fortunately, Derpy's doing
he
well.
says that with such confidence, but you know what? 2 days from now, when he's
Hmm.
bitching and
Hmm.
moaning and he can't breathe and he's sick, then we'll get on his shit. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna let him have that smugness as
yeah,
it is, and
yeah.
we'll get you
That's
back
what.
by the end of the week.
Yeah, you'll be making fun of my baldness, and the next thing I know, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm sick." I'm like, that's what you get.
But you are bald, Mike.
uh,
Bald and beautiful, Derpy. Bald and beautiful. You wouldn't be hating on me if you weren't jelly. It's
but
called you jelly roll.
it was a rough weekend. It was pure misery, and I don't know what this was, but I can honestly say I've never had this particular whatever it was that went around. My ear hurt. Well, it was wild because everybody that I talked to leading up to getting this, who probably gave this to me, they was saying the whole time their ear hurt, their ear hurt, their ear hurt. I thought, what the fuck is that? How's that the flu? But I get it. There's just this weird headache that went around the back of your head, and
Yeah,
it just stopped right there, right on my left ear, and it just my left ear throbbed. It wasn't inner ear, and it didn't even feel like outer ear. It just felt like nerve, like it was something
yeah.
connected to nerve, and it didn't allow you to sleep. It didn't allow you to do anything but be miserable. And you
No,
have
no. Like I didn't have the ear thing. I had the entire head thing. The fever. I was shaking. I was either hot or cold. It was miserable.
I gotta say, I wish I had a video of you sitting there shaking. That would have been enough for me to make me feel better.
Dude, like Saturday, right? I'm sitting there, finish my one job, getting ready to take someone else to their other job. Like my lips turned blue. That's how
What?
cold I was. Just out of nowhere. I'm like, this is great. It's a great way
Sounds
to
like you
start
were
the
near
weekend.
death. When your lips
Yeah,
turned blue.
I think I was. Big Sexy almost died. Derpy, how would you feel about that? Your last words would have been to me is, "Ho ho ho, you're bald," and I died. You had no chance to take it back, and no chance
I
to make things right. That would haunt you for the rest of your life.
I'd be
guess if
dead.
I guess if we're gonna say something that's worth it, that would be it. That would be what you
Yeah,
gotta say.
yeah.
So here we are. We're a sickly bunch, but nonetheless, we are back, everybody. It's
Ready
Monday
to talk
morning.
sports, baby.
It's President's Day. We had a bunch of things going on over the weekend regarding sports. So I mean, we're not short for material. But again, I wasn't gonna, if it would have really taken it would have really taken a bad situation slash turn for this whole thing for me to not do this today. I couldn't have done it yesterday, but I woke up today and I said, you know what, I feel well enough. So
Hmm.
if we can do an hour, we can do an hour.
We can do an hour.
You can do this.
Yeah. Guys, over the weekend there was plenty of things, a lot of things that went down. This extremely totally boring NBA All-Star game, which I did not watch. I gotta admit, I flipped by it a couple times, but it was as boring as
Every
Bill.
other All-Star game?
Well, this one was way worse, I guess. I mean, people were just saying this was worse than the flag football game.
Yeah. And like,
Um,
they don't want to get hurt. They're in the middle of a season. They're all fighting for
like every
playoff
other season
spots.
since the beginning of ever in every sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
Hey,
this is anything
I'm not
new.
getting paid for it. Fuck that
But
shit.
now
I
the
ain't going out there and
prima
competing.
donnas don't want to play, so it's like we're gonna.
Hell yeah. I don't want to get hurt out there.
So that's what it's doing to the sport. So
I fell asleep.
you know what? Most people did. A lot of people
Watching
were
it.
not. A lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people were not into this All-Star game. They just said it was lame. It was a very lame All-Star.
Yeah.
And the thing about basketball, it's a very, I mean, it isn't like you're out there hitting people and
Yeah.
running up and down the court is something that you do a gazillion times since you're a kid. I don't understand why. I don't know.
It's like the
Maybe
NHL All-Star game. They don't play defense. No one plays defense in the All-Star
nobody
game.
plays defense in All-Star games at all. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just everyone shooting around. Like I saw an interesting tweet. It said,
"Oh my gosh, we get to
along the
watch
lines of,
basketball players shoot around for
yeah.
2 hours."
Yeah, it was like, you know what? The media makes everything about championships anymore. So MVPs don't matter, scoring titles don't matter, defensive MVPs don't matter, All-Star game appearances really don't matter. So you put all the focus just on how many rings you have. That's all people are going to want to do now. It's just go for the rings. Whereas before, hey, were you the All-Star or were you the MVP of an All-Star game? That used to have a thing of meaning. Now it's like even being the league MVP doesn't have that same meaning of or have that same status like it used to have because you don't have a ring, so it doesn't matter anymore. So the whole concept of you're not good unless you have a ring, I think that's taken away from a lot of sports accolades, and part of that is the All-Star game because it used to be in every sport you wanted to win that to show, hey, our conference was the best, but now that doesn't matter anymore because it's all about the rings, it's all about the championships. I thought that was a unique take on that. Maybe that's why you see that in all these sports
Who
where
said that?
and it was just a tweet I saw of the media just makes everything about championships anymore, where MVPs really don't matter anymore. Scoring titles, defensive titles don't matter anymore.
The
So why would
championship
you
is
go
what's
out there and try
important.
and ball out
Because
in
it's
the
part of
All-Star
the game. You want to be the best. You want to, you want to score your points. And even if you can't be the champion, there's 30 other teams out there that still have to go out and play basketball, whether you want to get injured or not. At the end of the day, you still got to play the sport.
Yeah, but in the All-Star game, like you're not going to put forth that effort because no one's really going to care.
When did the culture change? Because
it seems about like 10 years ago, people started more talking about it's all about the rings, it's all about the rings. Who cares about who led the league in scoring, who had the most assists, rebounds?
If you're an NBA player, you tried
I think it started
an NBA All-Star game because you're in the NBA. You want to,
I think it started around the time when like Kobe and LeBron were starting to catch Jordan with titles, and then Jordan with points. Then
LeBron ain't never
Jordan has
Jordan
the
with no titles.
Well, no, that's when it came about. So that became all about it's all about championships. It's all
I'm going to be surprised if
LeBron
doesn't have more losses than wins in the championship.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you asked, like what I think that's when it started to come about. It's like
how many All-Star
Kobe
and
LeBron.
did Jordan have though?
How many what?
Yep. But then
how many Hall of Famers did Jordan have though?
How many Hall of Famers did he have? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Pippen.
What? Wait, hold on. On his team?
Yes, in his career.
I don't think he had any Hall of Famers on his team.
Pippen, Dennis Rodman.
They're not Hall of Famers, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Look them up real quick. I don't know if they are.
Yeah.
For one, Dennis Rodman averaged less than 2 points a game.
He was a great rebounder.
It was. I mean, Pippen, obviously somebody has to rebound.
One of the greatest rebounders of all time.
In 2010, Pippen made it 2010. Rodman made it in.
Even if these two guys are Hall of Famers, can you even compare that to the amount of star? Listen, the thing about LeBron James, he doesn't play for somebody unless there's X amount of superstars on his team. It's
the way the league's designed now. It's the way the league
is. A joke, and this is why the NBA is losing ground really fast. Everybody else, and I think them having a disaster All-Star weekend is just it just really piles on to what people were saying about the NBA. Nobody has I mean, there's this core group of people that like the NBA and they love it and they follow it. But as far as I mean, I would say basketball is becoming somewhat comparable to baseball.
Yeah,
overall.
it's slipping
Yeah.
down because it used to be before you have to have like the big two. Now it's the big three. Pretty soon it's gonna be you need the big four to
And let
compete.
me tell you this, Derpy. When Michael Jordan wasn't on Scottie Pippen's team, Scottie Pippen wasn't no Hall of Famer. I can tell you this: the 2 years that he was gone in the middle when Jordan retired, that team did not go to the finals. After Jordan left and Scottie Pippen went to the Rockets, the Portland Trail Blazers, and I believe somewhere else, he accomplished very little. And I got to tell you, on that Rockets team, he
They
shared
still
the
went to the
team
Western Conference Final.
with who?
Scotty.
With who? Who did he go to the Western Conference Final with?
Eastern, my bad.
No. When? They didn't go to the Eastern Conference Finals and lose.
I don't know
But
my
anyway,
sports.
huh?
Nothing.
So anyway, in Scotty even went to a Rockets team that had Akeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler. They had half of the dream team, and they weren't able to get it accomplished. So say what you will, it's entirely different compared to what's going on nowadays with LeBron James. It's not and people are going to say, well, you know what, you're from that generation, so just as far as being a fan of sports, you got to see how different it is, and again, people were losing interest in the sport quick. However, the big thing that I did take from this weekend was Mac McClung wins back-to-back slam dunk contests. The guy jumps over Shaquille O'Neal to dunk the basketball to win his back-to-back slam dunk contest, which I gotta say for a white guy who's a little bit over 3 feet tall, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Yeah.
Not
Hey,
bad.
we got that going for us.
Um, what else in the NBA? Damian Lillard won the MVP. Mike, your boy Micah Parsons, who's turning into be something else, he ended up winning the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game MVP.
There we go. We got that going for us, Penn State.
This guy doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut. I keep seeing things more and more what he's saying. I'm starting to like him even less, but we'll get more into that later. But that's about basically everything I do want to say about this NBA All-Star Weekend. I am not a fan, and I don't think I'm going to be going back to being a fan anytime soon. So, and you know what? I think this is going to ultimately reflect on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh people are going to say, you know what? The NBA sucks. We don't want them here. And it wasn't like it didn't make it in a good time when things were good in the NBA.
Yeah.
And people, we tried, we stuck the CBA
The
team in
glory
there and it
days.
failed, and we've stuck this in there and they failed. I just don't think that Pittsburgh is going to take the NBA team. I don't think they can support the NBA team, but nonetheless, guys, that is everything that I have to say about the NBA. A lot of other things did go down over the weekend. We have NFL talk. We have Penguins, of course. We have the Buccos. Some other big stories in college basketball that went down over the weekend. Lots of things to talk about, guys. Mike, what's your timer?
My timer is we're 12 minutes in. 12 minutes in.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. All right, so let me think here. Where do we want to start, guys? Let's start with the Pittsburgh Penguins. This being the big story of the weekend here in the Berg.
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, they take on the Los Angeles Kings yesterday in a game that meant a little bit more to the Penguin fans than the Penguins-Kings matchup itself. This was the day that Jaromir Jagr came back to have his number retired in Pittsburgh. It happened. It went down. Jaromir Jagr returned. Everybody wore their mullets. Everybody had a good time. And Jaromir Jagr has now had number 68 retired in Pittsburgh.
Only the third Penguin to have his number retired, and well deserved. Well deserved. It was
Jagr, Lemieux, and who else?
Marcel Dion.
Oh, yeah.
He died when he died. He was 21. He died in an accident.
So how did he get his number rise to the rafters?
He was like Lemieux before Lemieux. He was
only 21. I mean, how could you he could have a terrible.
He was great. He was a great player, dude. He was a great player. Then he died tragically.
Most people are great players when they go into the pros. You don't know if they're going to be all.
No, he was a great player, dude. Don't be. Yeah, he was legit.
He was 21. You can't say that.
Well, okay, then don't. Okay, obviously you don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Well, obviously I do, because if you're 21, you haven't proven anything
Okay, yeah, just talk. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's a legitimate concern. A legitimate question. 21 years old. Come on, he could have gotten worse. He could have broken blew his leg out the next year and never played again. It's a little bit ridiculous. I think a lot of people might agree with that, but we
I think
will.
you might be the only one who disagrees about
I
Michelle
might be.
Briere number.
I think
Excuse
you're
me.
the one that's ever heard. I've never literally heard anybody say that name.
Then you don't follow Penguins hockey.
I probably don't follow Penguins hockey,
You
but
probably don't not knowing number 21's number being retired.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask the next 100 people I know, and I'm gonna guarantee 3 of them might know who that
That
is.
don't follow that. Do they follow Penguins hockey?
Mike, Mark, what's his name? Mike Lemieux. What is it?
Michelle Briere.
Mike? No, that's come on. He was given this privilege because he died early. That's all it was. And 21 years old. Come on, you weren't even in the league long enough to prove anything.
Died in a tragic car accident. Yeah, he had a great
A lot of
rookie
people
season.
die in tragic car. You know what? I know somebody who just died the other day in a car accident. Should we give them a number in the rafters?
And sure, why not, dude?
There
Be
you
an ass
go.
about it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you
Not an
go.
ass. It's just common sense.
I
Somebody's
know.
21. Come on, that's
Yeah,
stupid. So the Pittsburgh
you're
Penguins.
stupid, dude. My God.
Now literally you are, but we
No,
won't because
literally,
we
you
want to talk
are. I
about
don't know why you're
sports.
being an asshole about
I'm
dude's
not. I'm
number
just saying
being
the guy's
retired.
21 and he got his number raised to the Rabbits. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oof.
And because you
Oof.
have a different opinion, now everyone's stupid. So,
No. You're the one who said I was stupid.
well, Mike, listen. If you're going to keep proving that, but
No,
I said
you're
this was
keep proving
stupid.
that you're an idiot.
I'm not proving that I'm an idiot. I'm proving that you're
You're
an
that
idiot.
you're like, oh, no one knows who this number is. A lot of Penguins fans
Correct. A
know who
lot of
this
people.
number is.
I promise you, most people don't know who that is. I
Penguin fans
promise
know
you.
who that is. Ask Penguin fans; they'll tell you who it is.
Mike, I'm. All right,
Talk to
people,
Penguin
you
fans.
decide. People that listen and watch the show, you decide if you know this person, and go from
If
there.
you're a Penguin fan, you'll know who it is.
And however Mike decides to twist and turn the narrative, you still,
Yeah.
in your own mind, think, "Do I know who this is?" And then go on with your life.
They'll know.
Okay, there you go. So then the Penguins, they lose again because this team stinks. And at the end of the day, Kyle Dubois says in a comment in a booth after the 2-1 loss, he says that changes are coming. Changes are coming. So this
And not many changes can come.
go ahead, keep talking. I mean, unless you're going to keep saying things that just try to piss
Well,
people
no,
off,
no.
why
I
don't you
was
talk
gonna
about
like,
what it is that you're going to say? Make a comment and talk about it. Don't just throw something out there.
wow,
And get
dude, what
pissy.
the fuck is your goddamn problem today?
I have no problem. I'm talking about the sports.
Holy shit. Yeah, I was gonna say not many changes can come up. And then normally, you normally ask, well, what changes can happen? I was waiting for the follow-up response because that's what we've been doing for 504 episodes.
Okay, well,
Because
are
they're
you going
stuck
to
up
talk
against the
about it, or are
salary
you going to
cap.
bitch
The
about what
only
I'm
player
doing?
that they can trade is
Because if you're just going to bitch about what I'm doing, come on, let's talk about the
no.
sports.
Wow, I was, doing the dynamic of the show where we bounce back and forth. You say
So, are
something,
you
I
actually
say
going to
something.
talk about this or no?
No, I'm just going to sit here and shut up the rest of the show and let you go, bro.
Okay, there you go. So, the Kyle Dubois said that there will be changes to be made after this loss because this team is terrible. They come in, they lose 2-1 to the Kings. They fall to 24, 21, and 7. Next, they host the New York Islanders tomorrow at 7 p.m. There was something that was pretty cool about this. Actually, a couple of things that were pretty cool about this. But there was if you went and got a mullet haircut, apparently you got to get a Permani's sandwich for free. And Derpy, this is something that I would have thought that you would have been involved with because you do love the Permani sandwich so much. I thought that you would have went and got the mullet haircut. Did this go down?
No, it did not.
No. Do you even have enough hair to get a mullet haircut?
No.
So you could have got a free Permani sandwich provided you went to Permani's and had a mullet haircut. Could have got a free sandwich. I thought that was pretty cool. They made a big event. The whole Jagr mullet crew, they all showed up at the stadium. They follow Jagr around. I'm sure you've seen this group of guys. And it was a pretty cool event. And again, they did retire his number. Jaromir Jagr, Mario Lemieux, and some other dude got their names and numbers retired in the rafters. Congratulations. There is somebody here's something that remember the Steeler Nazi fans that we were talking about. It leaked over into the Penguins over the weekend, and this was just something that I picked up online. And this is what the comments said. Hail to Jagr. That being said, if you go to a Pens game as a Pens fan, there is no booing your home team. Stay home and yell at your screen or move to Philly and boo all you want. Only thing more embarrassing than the Pens play right now is hometown fans. When did this fan Nazi movement really come about? I don't remember this till at least within the past 5 years.
Like I'm
What?
paying the price of a ticket. I'm booing or I'm cheering.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna boo. I'm gonna fart. I'm gonna burp. I'm gonna scratch.
yeah,
I'm gonna itch. I'm gonna do whatever I want if I
yeah.
go to a game because guess what? Fuck you. You know.
Yeah, because like even like the players, they'll even say, we got booed out of the building, and that took us into intermission or halftime, and we use that as motivation, saying we don't. That's not the reaction we want, and you use it as fuel, and you go out there and you play better.
It's part of the game.
Yeah,
You cheer when somebody does well, you cheer them. When they don't do well, you boo them. And these fan Nazis,
it's
and
it's a farce. It's a joke, man.
these are the people that are claiming to be the fans. You're the one
Yeah.
that's not the fan because you think otherwise.
No, I will cheer for my team, but I will boo the hell out of them or I'll cheer the hell out of them, depending on how well or how poorly they're playing. And
I
that's part
guess
of being a fan.
right.
I can still support my team while I talk crap on them, because I want them to win. I want them to succeed. I'm not going to be wishy washy and cheer every bad decision they make.
Right. That's exactly.
Yeah,
That's what being a fan. Exactly.
like you're allowed to be objective with your team. You not everything's roses right now in Pittsburgh sports. So I'll cheer when it's appropriate, and I will criticize when it's appropriate.
If you buy my ticket, maybe I might respect what you're saying. But as
Maybe.
long as you're not, they just, the internet is really changing the way the sports is because people's opinions. Every single one of us has an opinion,
Oh
and
yeah.
and you take common sense and throw it out the window because not you give 100 people a subject or a question, not 100 people are going to hit it on the head.
Hmm.
You're going to have a couple that are going to be correct, and then the rest is going to be wrong. And guess what? You still have to listen to all the bullshit that's out there. So it's just a weird turn that we're taking in this time with sports and the internet. I think it's good. I think having more opinions is not a bad thing, but I think the fact that a lot of people aren't smart enough to know how to take that and to handle that
Hmm.
and to continue. Because come on, I mean, how is one going to tell you how to cheer for your team
Exactly.
or lack thereof or not cheer? Or again, you buy my ticket and you're sitting next to me,
Yep.
I will not boo. Okay, but
Yeah,
besides for that,
and you have to like the same players that they like. You have to hate the same players they hate.
right?
You have to like the coach that they like. You have to hate the coach that they hate. Like no, no.
Exactly.
That's what's
Well, people see how
the
stupid that is.
that's what's fun about being part of a fan base. It's not all homogenous. There's different viewpoints.
That's the
It's
part.
fun to engage with them. Okay, well, why do you think this player is good? Why do you think that coach is good? Okay, I want to hear what you have to say.
That's the best part about being an American is you can have a different opinion than somebody else. You would think that we live in some
Yeah.
fucking I don't know, some other kind of bullshit country. Come on, people can have an opinion. People can
Yeah,
think different than you. And if they don't think the same as you, they're not a fan of the team that you think that
right.
you're a
I
great
mean,
fan of. It's fucking
right.
stupid.
I mean, like look at me and you. My God, we disagree about just about everything. But my God, we don't hate each other.
The thing is, I mean, we disagree on the same things. It's it's our favorite team
Yeah, and you're passionate about it.
and we're passionate, but we disagree about just about everything about that team.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But we want to get to the same results. At least you and I want to get to the same results. We want to see the team win.
Yeah.
Or I'm okay. Like there's a lot of people that they only want Kenny to be the quarterback that wins, or there's people who want another quarterback other than Kenny to win. Me, I just want the team to win. I don't care who the quarterback is. Same thing in hockey. I don't care who the goalie is or who the coach is. I just want the team to win.
Jake
Exactly.
Gensel to miss up to 4 weeks with an injury. It was news over the weekend.
Yeah.
Also, Crosby reaches 30 goals. It becomes the 12th time Sidney Crosby reaches 30 goals in a season, passing Mario Lemieux's 11 and Jaromir Jagr's 10.
Not bad.
And finally, there was on March 9th, they're playing one of them stupid video games, basically of a real game that's going on. In case you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to watch the Bruins Penguins on the 9th, you could watch a cartoon of the teams playing each other as it's going on in real life.
You know what? The way the Penguins are playing, that might be more enjoyable.
Yeah. So you're
That
basically
might be
watching
more
something that's
enjoyable.
mimicking the real thing in a way of cartoon. Again, it makes you wonder where sports are going to be 25 years from now.
Yeah.
Are the guys even going to be playing? Maybe they'll all just be playing video games.
They'll have
We're going to cheer for their
no,
video
Yeah,
games.
they'll
robots.
all be like tapped into something and they'll be all virtual.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But no, that Gensel injury is huge because my God, outside of like him and Crosby, who else is producing on that team? And he is like their only trade bait. He's the only one who has a movable contract. Maybe him and Rust. That's about it.
So there you go. Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens already breaking gloves. He was in
Ooh.
camp the other day throwing the ball and he busted a big hole in the dude's glove that he was playing catch with.
Hey, you know what? For that alone, he's going to be bumped down to the minor leagues because this team can't afford equipment like that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I made my mind up. Like, if Henry Davis is in the minors to start this
Uh-huh.
season, I will not watch a single
Nope.
game until they pull him up. I will not. I refuse. He literally, besides with the exception of maybe one or two other guys, is the best pure baseball
Yeah.
player on this team.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're sending him down and letting the other guys, and I understand it all comes to contracts and money, and you can't put this
Yeah.
guy down. And you know what? It's one of the most ridiculous things, and it is part of why the Pittsburgh Pirates are the worst team in baseball for sure. Over the past 30 years, here's the thing: you have these other teams like the Royals. Didn't the Royals end up going to the World Series the one year? And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
we are the like
Like,
literally the worst team. The Pirates are the worst team. And if Henry Davis starts the season in the minors, count me out. I'm out.
yeah, you drafted him first overall as a catcher to be your catcher of the future, and then you don't play him there.
And then you get the opportunity for him to actually do that because the other guy
Yeah.
gets hurt. What
And
do?
you don't. You're
You
going to send
send
him
him
down to
down. You don't put
it's
him. You don't put him in that position to
no.
improve or get better.
No.
He's going to go down the minors. He's going to hit the ball. He's going to hit the cover off the ball because that's what he
Yeah.
did. Because it's the minors. He belongs in the pros. I
They're
will.
gonna
I won't watch an inning, Mike. If they start that
nope.
guy out in the minor leagues, I will not watch an inning. Decision made.
Me either. They're going to turn him into that, like I said the other week, the 4A player, to where he's going to max out in the minor leagues and then he's going to regress when he actually makes it to the pros, to where he's not good enough for it. They're ruining his development as a player, all for contract control. That's all it is. It's stupid and it's idiotic. You put your best players out there.
And people might, they might mesh what we said about the fan Nazis. But I'm going to tell you something. If you want, and I'm not telling you what to do, but if you want this baseball team to ever, ever, ever get better, you got to stop going to the games. And it's not me
Mm-hmm.
telling you how to be a fan. It's not. I'm telling you what it is. Hey, P. Good morning. I'm
Oh,
just telling you what it is. You. This team is stunk for 30 plus years. If you want this team to get better, you have to stop going to the games because money is the only thing these people understand. And as long as you keep going and making it a thing to do in the summertime, let's take the kids to the Pirate game, then it's never going to change. They're never going to get better. What happens when the Steelers ain't performing? The people uprise. They make their voices heard.
mm-hmm.
And guess what? Things get better most of the time, at least. Pirates, again, Henry Davis starts in the minors. Count me out.
And the Buckers will have that one good month out of the year that will convince the Pirate media and the Pirate fans that this team has a future, and then people will keep going to the games, and then they'll collapse, but they'll be like keep holding on to that one good month. We kind of got bought into it that last year, that first good month. They looked like a legit major league team, and then they completely fell apart. It happens every year. They have one good month.
Yeah. Also, over the weekend, the Pitt Panthers they beat Louisville, and in this game, 86-59, they win over Louisville Cardinals. Blake Hinson scores 41 points.
He went
career,
off.
he really did. He career high 41 points, set some records at Pitt. Pitt is now the fourth team in the conference. They worked their way back up the list. They are only behind North Carolina, Duke, and Virginia. And I know they beat Duke. And the games that they have left are these guys: Wake Forest, which is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, Virginia Tech, Clemson, Boston College, Florida State, and NC State. I think Pitt has a good chance at this point.
I do too.
You know,
They've been playing well, and like you said, Henson's been on fire recently
the dude's
down
been
the
on fire
stretch.
for about 3 seasons. Now they're
Yeah,
just
he's
finally starting to
just
recognize him.
yep.
He goes, the guy, he steps over and that's one thing. Three players over the weekend that I noticed stepped over the half court line, shot the ball from about a foot inside and sunk it. Was Blake Hinson did it randomly through the Pitt game. Damian Lillard did it during the All-Star game. I saw he did it. And also Caitlin Clark, who we're going to talk about next. she shot better than all of them. I thought this chick can
Oh,
shoot the ball.
oh,
But there you have it, guys. Pitt, they are in fourth now in the conference, working their way up. They have 6 games left. I think they have a really, really good shot now, especially, if they don't shit the bed, they go out playing,
yeah,
as competitively as they've been playing up to this point. I think they're going to be just fine. I think they might beat a team or two in the tournament if that does
yeah.
happen. So
I can see it. I can see them. I would love to see them make the Sweet 16.
that'd be something, man. It's been a
That'd be
while.
something.
Over in the middle of the state, Mike, Penn State, the board punts away on the naming of the changing the name of the field to have anything to do with Joe Paterno.
Good
It
call.
was at son Jay Paterno's request. So
Of course, of course.
what's that all about? Is he
He's trying like all he has is his dad's name anymore. That's the only reason he was able to get into coaching was that his dad was the coach, and anything to keep his dad's name alive, to keep his livelihood alive.
that's what it they punted away at Jay's request though. So it
Oh,
was
oh,
Jay,
oh,
yeah.
oh, oh, oh,
So
oh.
for whatever reason,
Well,
Jay,
then good call by Jay then. And them him, realizing that,
yeah,
daddy's name ain't what it used to
yeah. I thought it lost weight when he shit himself. I don't know. That was just my opinion.
be.
When he ran across the field with a pants full of shit, that was what did it for me. But
Hey, him,
apparently,
he
apparently a
doesn't
bunch
have
of
that
things,
Lamar Jackson speed to get off the field to go take a shit.
apparently things happened after the shitting incident that people
Yeah.
are so I
Hey,
don't I don't know what the
he
hell
did break
happened.
his leg on the sideline coaching and still kept coaching. So, he had some toughness points there, but then turning your blind eye to a, sexual assault of minors, it kind of puts black eye on you.
Yeah, I don't care if he broke his neck and still coach. He's a ped.
Well, yeah, yeah. Oh, but at the time, you didn't know that. At the time, you're like, yeah, this guy's awesome. Then you're like, oh, no, he's not.
Could you imagine all that time thinking he was awesome when he was playing with
Yeah.
little boys as Peters?
Turning his blind eye to that stuff. Yeah. I thought Jerry Sandusky was a great defensive coordinator, and then I realized, nah. He was great at something else. That's sick.
What I don't understand about Penn State were these what age were these kids that were getting fondled at Penn State? Because these are college age people that go there, and it always makes it seem like they were little kids when there's
But
not
they
little
were
kids.
little kids.
What are little kids doing at college?
Well, there's like a whole community around there, dude. Penn State's out in the middle of nowhere, around small. I don't know what was going on out there.
It's like Epstein's Island.
It's kind of what it felt like.
Um,
See, P, that's what the problem. You got to find a school that champions athletics more than academics.
yeah, academics is getting old. They got to do away with this.
Yeah, you got to do
thing.
NC State needs to realize academics is not that important. It's all about the athletics. That's where the money is.
Nobody cares what these guys do after their career whenever they get their degrees.
Really, the people don't. They don't.
I mean, I literally just seen the Pat Fryermuth got his degree, and you know what? Who cares? When he's not a Steeler, I mean, does anybody really give a shit?
No, not really.
I mean, what was he? What did he earn his degree in? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
All I know is that he earned his degree, and his mother's proud.
Hey,
Not the fact that he's a pro football player making millions of dollars. I mean, that
yeah.
In my opinion, I would be more thrilled with that. But
at least he, maybe he made the promise to her. Whatever happens, I'll get my degree. He made Mama happy.
Ugh, I hate that. I hate that promise. I hate hearing that.
That's why you don't make promises to people.
Exactly. I mean, geez, oh man, you're in front of.
Because then you got to like follow through with a commitment.
You're in front of that. You're on national TV in front of millions of people catching touchdown passes and making millions of dollars. The degree is the last thing on my mind.
Mine too. Mine will be all about the Benjamins, baby.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need the degree once you make. I don't know. I guess that's a whole nother story for another day.
Professors from Wish.
Yeah.
Oh. I went to
Caitlin,
Kent State, P. It was the same thing.
Caitlin Clark outscored the entire Michigan team in the first quarter, 23-22, en route to breaking that women's basketball all-time scoring record. She ends out scoring 49 points that night. She becomes the most the highest scoring women's basketball player ever in college. And her the tickets for this game was astronomical. And I was watching a report, Mike, they said the WNBA couldn't even carry her right now. She is bigger than the WNBA.
Yeah.
The money that they make and the talent they put out there, it wouldn't be worth it for her to even go to the WNBA because she deserves more.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's insane. I don't know if she's getting any NIL deal, but if she is, my God, because I think she can go back for one more year due to the COVID year. If she can get an NIL deal, I would go back, get that, get a paycheck, because the NBA, WNBA, you're not going to get that kind of money unless you can get yourself a very lucrative endorsement deal. But she's like more exciting than like college men's college basketball players. There's no one equivalent to her right now on the men's side. So she right now is college basketball.
I agree.
And she might be one of the best shooters, in all of basketball.
She just makes it look so effortless, and she fires it up there, and it goes. I mean, she could be anywhere on the floor. As I said earlier, she crossed the timeline, threw it up. You're like, oh, this ain't going. And swish.
Like she was Steph. She was like, money.
Yeah.
So I want to see her in the 3-point contest next year.
I want to see her in the NBA next year. I mean, this girl would outplay all them guys.
You said screens for her and just let her shoot from behind the arc?
As lazy as the NBA is getting, she would excel. I think she would be.
I forget what pro player. He was a former pro. He said if you start her playing against boys in high school and all the way through college, they could probably play in the NBA if they're talented enough.
I don't disagree. I think
I don't.
NBA,
you don't have to be
becoming a joke.
As long as you can shoot the ball, you can play in the league. But you have to be able to play defense too, and I think that's where it would.
I think what it is, if you watch, and we talked about this before in the show, it's a show. The NBA is not it's not a basketball league anymore per se. If you watch the game of basketball, which I do for work, I catch a lot of high school basketball, and you watch the game the way that it's supposed to be played, and then you watch the game that we see on TV. It's not the same sport. They're two different sports. One is the game of basketball, and then the other one is a show. And what they look for in the NBA is a certain style, a certain look, a certain way of playing, and a certain way of being able to score consistently. And they take those players and they put them in the NBA. Now, a good example I was reading over the weekend was Bronny James is not ready for the NBA. I could tell you one thing. If anybody's going to be ready for the NBA, it's going to be a son or a bloodline of LeBron James. The guy's going to be good enough. He probably already is good enough, but he just doesn't have what that look is, that what that is that they're trying to sell, that showtime that the NBA is trying to sell. And again, I was a huge basketball fan growing up, all the way up until probably about 23 years old. And then I kind of lost a little bit for me, but it's a whole different game now. It's how you could, if they played a game in the NBA that looked like a game in high school where they were abiding by the rules, there was no travel, you wasn't carrying the ball, you wasn't all those little things, the NBA wouldn't be the same. It's a show. The NBA has become a show. Some people love it for that. Some people love it for that reason. Other people hate it for that reason. But any way you look at it, guys, those two games are two totally different games.
Yeah, they've taken defense completely out of the game. Like you can't like even look at someone anymore and you get a foul. Like traveling, my God, you can call travel on every possession. It's like, come on. I see
LeBron come across the timeline, pick the ball, hold it up to his hip, and take 3 steps literally, and then stood there and looked around. I thought, what? That's not bad. Come on.
Yeah, they just let it go.
This is when the players become bigger than the sport itself, and I think that's when the sport loses a little bit. I mean, say what you will about the NFL, the sport is still the sport of football. Where basketball, it's like I said, it's taking this show turn. It's a totally different sport than what you're seeing on your high school floors going into college. But then you're starting to see that transition. They want that guy that could be in the show. They want the Showtime guy. And those are the only guys that do make it to the NBA. It's not, maybe not the best basketball player per se, but you have to have a certain look, a certain image that they're trying to sell. And prove me wrong on that. Also, guys, let's talk a little bit of football.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Football may be done, but football is never done, guys.
It's never done. It's 365, baby. Or 366 this year,
yes,
baby.
Sir.
Yes, Mike, in just a few weeks, we have the free agency coming up. We have the combine coming up here shortly, all kind of things. But I want to have a little throwback moment. It's not Thursday, but you know what? Just a little throwback moment, like to just a few short years ago when the Cincinnati Bengals were heading off to the Super Bowl. Does anybody remember this?
Vaguely.
No Steelers are allowed to jump on our bandwagon when we win the Super Bowl. How did that age?
Did not
How-
The
age
Mongols,
well.
everybody.
That did not age well. No Steelers are allowed on our bandwagon when we win the Super Bowl. So there you go. Another Ohio team counting their chickens, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Cleveland did this year, and the year before, and the year before, and they already
Yeah.
had the Super Bowl parade planned
Yep.
before they even played a playoff game this year. The Bengals were already ready to not allow us on the bandwagon after winning the Super Bowl. Let's see how that played out. But the news here in Pittsburgh is the Steelers are not looking to sign a veteran QB outside of the organization to start over Kenny Pickett. They want to see if he can establish himself as a long-term starter via the Post Gazette. I think it's going to be interesting, Mike, about Mason Rudolph. Is he going to go elsewhere? I think that becomes a big part of the way next season goes. One way or another, whether you decide to start Kenny and he does well, he does not do well, or Mason Rudolph, if you decide to start him or he doesn't do well, I think what he decides to do here, come a free agency, that's going to be a big part of next season.
Yeah, that's going to be key. Is like you said, what is Mason going to do? Because if he decides to stay, there's already reports like there's friction inside the organization of, hey, some of them want Mason to be the guy, others we want Kenny to be the guy. And
yeah,
a lot of it too is like your receivers, they put their vote. We saw at the end of last year that they're like, hey, we would like to see Mason stay and be the starter. Whereas it seems like the coaching staff in the front office want to give Kenny one more chance. So it's like the front office wants to see if they were right or wrong. And the players are going, hey, this is the guy that's making us look better and perform better. This is the guy we want.
So
and it's going to be interesting, but I think it all revolves around Mason Rudolph.
Which you could intermingle both of these players and mesh them both together, because if you mesh them both together, you'd have a pretty good quarterback. But right now we don't know where we're at. It's all a lot is going to depend on what goes down with what decision Mason Rudolph is going to make. Is he going to go test the waters? Is he going to, I mean, he had 5 good games in his career. Maybe somebody is going to turn around and give him a lot of money because of that. He's got to check that. I think as a human being, that is a natural thing that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to see what people value you as and go from there. So it's going to be interesting, Mike, but that nonetheless plays a big part in the way things move forward with the Steelers.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame Mason. Go see what's out there, see what money you can get, and you only have one shot at free agency, and this is his best shot. So go right now and see what you can get, or maybe force the Steelers into giving you that hush guarantee of what, it will be a legit competition between you and Kenny.
Yeah.
Because now, it sounds like right now it doesn't matter who they bring in, Kenny will be the guy. That's just what it feels like.
You know what? Yeah. Let him play through the motions. Let him go through the motions, Mike. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't get that quarterback, you're not going to win like we expect to win. Like we want to win in Pittsburgh. Like we've won for 20 seasons, and then before that, the 10 seasons in the 70s. If you want that, you got to go out and get your quarterback. And when I'm talking your quarterback, I don't mean Mason Rudolph. I don't mean Kenny Pickett. I mean, you got to go out and get your guy. And until they do that, they're gonna be stuck. They're stuck. And one more time, I hate to use this word because it's overused in Pittsburgh right now, but mediocrity is the word that's synonymous with the Steelers. As long as they keep doing what they're doing, you got to go get that guy. But Mike, that being said, there's a lot of free agent other players out there that play 21 other positions. And you know what? We're coming up to a free agent date. We have Omar Khan, who certainly did not sit on his hands last year in the offseason. I'm kind of interested to see what kind of moves, what he makes happen as this season, as this offseason starts to play out. I listen, the amount of different people that are out there that could fix some of these problems.
Yeah.
They're out there. And in the list that came out the other day of the free agents that are guys that you could get that aren't, going to kill your bank. There's a lot of good players out there, Mike.
There are. And, one thing about Omar Khan, we learned this last offseason. He's not afraid to make moves and go out and get someone that he thinks will help the team. They worked out until the guys got injured, but that's what happens when, we were up against the cap last year. This year, it looks like we're going to have a little bit more cap space. And I just want to see them address key needs in free agency and then go into the draft and just plug holes that way, or fill the, or vice versa. Use the draft to plug in key holes and whatever else you need, go to free agency and get. Because, like you said, man, there's a lot of holes on this team, and there's some really damn good players out there that we can get.
A couple rumors that I did see over the weekend: Mitch Trubisky would be a good fit on the Cleveland Browns team.
Sure, why not take him, baby?
Sure,
Have a way.
Take him.
Deontay Johnson, possible trade bait.
Yeah, there's I the more and more it's sounding like I get a feeling like he might be traded.
Which is something that we were saying for about a season now, and we had said after the season, watch, he probably will be traded. But before I continue to pat myself on the back, we will let that play out and see how that plays.
Play out. I think it's because he's in that Mason Rudolph camp.
Yeah.
Or it sounds like the front office is in the Kenny camp. But if they can get value for him, you got to do what you got to do.
I think Deontay Johnson kind of falls into the please don't run backwards camp and don't do stupid things, which he cut down on last year.
Yeah.
But there's definitely things you still like to see the guy do better moving forward. If, you know, and this includes a bunch of different players, if you expect your passing game to improve on your football team. But he's a big part of it. You know, I mean, yes, the quarterback is a big part of it. Yes, the blocking is a big part, but there are other things that do need to happen with these receivers. Also, if you want the passing game to get better. So hopefully we do see that, whether he doesn't stick around, maybe he'll be somewhere else next year. We just don't know.
I would love to see Trubisky stay in the AFC North. My God, being able to play against him, that's a win right there.
Oh, could you imagine getting him in the game where we usually get Tyler Huntley?
Yeah, I'll take that trade.
I'd love that
the week, baby.
That would be fair.
Game. Hell yeah, that's a win right there. Huntley would kill us.
Jimmy Garoppolo being suspended 2 games for violating performance-enhancing supplement policy.
Okay, is Viagra a performance?
That's what I'm saying.
Enhancer?
What the hell is this
you know
guy?
He was in those brothels taking care of that freebie.
Yeah, the hymns or the whatever that shit is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. They're like, Jimmy, you're banging too many free hookers. There's something going on here.
Because it certainly isn't enhancing his performance on the field. I can tell you that.
If you're using performance enhancers and you lose your spot to Aiden O'Connell, we're going to take those performance enhancers and put those into the, you can take these column.
Yeah, this dude, come on.
Talk about someone who had a good 2 or 3 games when Brady was out and turned that into an entire career and made millions of dollars for it. This is like what Mason Rudolph needs to happen. You know, just follow the Jimmy Garoppolo passive success.
Right.
Have a team go, oh man, he had a couple good games at the end of the year. With us, man, he can do so much better. Here's $15 million. Come to us, baby.
Micah Parsons opening his mouth. Ever since he gave his opinion about the Steelers and the TJ Watt and the defensive player of the year, he seems to be opening his mouth a lot lately.
Oh yeah.
In this one, I just caught this. He says, quote, "The fact it was 8 grown men waiting outside of my gate with mini helmets and pitchers when I got off my plane is insane. I hope you all realize sometimes how much athletes got to hold back. This lady is currently following me." What's your problem? What is his problem? If it wasn't for these fans, you'd be nothing. If it wasn't for these people paying money, investing in you, you'd be nothing. You'd be getting your education instead of playing football.
Just sign them and move on.
Right? Come on, dude. But it's okay when they all come and cheer for you and praise you as a god, but God forbid you turn around and give back to somebody and sign a helmet.
Now, if they're following them from airport to airport, you got a point there. If they're following you from place to place,
that comes with the territory. If you're
that's a little stalkerish, but like, you know, if
yes,
like, oh hey, we know
paparazzi in any other business. I mean, you know, if you're in movies, if you're an actor, if you're a model, if you're anything that's in the public eye, this is absolutely normal, and it's always been normal. I mean, it's annoying. It's annoying.
Some of it, yeah. But like, I'm talking about if it's probably not his situation, but you got the ones that are always following you around, then they're showing up at your house. That's, you know, you've crossed lines.
As far as I know, nobody showed up at his house.
Yeah, but that right there is like, dude, just sign the helmets and move on.
I agree.
But now, if it's like the same person all the time, they're using it to make money off you. It's like, come on.
And again, I don't know that to be the case. I don't.
Well, I don't know that, but I'm just saying that as an example. But yeah, just sign the shit and move on, dude. Quit being a baby.
Right.
Unless you're in a hurry, you go, "Hey, dudes, I got to catch a connecting flight. I'm out. Sorry." But sign the shit and go.
You love these people when they're praising you.
Right.
Um, here's an interesting, Mike, and a very interesting key possible pickup for the Steelers. I read this and I thought, you know what, this person makes a lot of
Oh, I
sense to
think I know who
me.
you're talking about because I saw it too when he was
Do
cut.
you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Um, um, Jordan Whitehead.
Yep.
Jordan Whitehead. Now, of course, he's from right here. He graduated from my high school, as a matter of fact. My high school isn't a high school anymore. They merged two schools and made it a bigger school. But Jordan Whitehead graduated from what I would have graduated from, provided we would have been out at the same time. Jordan Whitehead, guys, this past season, he started all 17 games with the Jets. In 17 games, he had 97 tackles, 3 tackles for losses, a half a sack, 4 interceptions, and 9 pass breakups. That's not bad numbers for the other guy
Yeah.
next to Minka.
Yep.
You know, the guy, he's a tackling machine. If you go back in his 4 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he did win a Super Bowl in this squad, he racked up 292 tackles, 22 for losses, forced 2 forced fumbles, 2 recoveries, 5 interceptions, 25 passes defended. In 59 games, he started 55 of them. Jordan Whitehead would, in my opinion, because he's from here and he probably, maybe, I haven't heard anything otherwise, I would think would like to play here. I think that he would be a great pickup, Mike, for that other safety position, and
I
having a
would.
Whitehead and a
Mm.
Minka Fitzpatrick safety, 2 safeties, you're really putting yourself ahead of a lot of teams.
Oh, I would him because if you, yeah, he's my number one. Terrell Owens would be number two, but oh my God, Jordan Whitehead. Ever since you, God, you pointed him out to me a couple of seasons ago. I've been following him. He's one of the better safeties in the league.
He
He's
really
so
is.
consistent, man. So consistent. I would love to see him.
And it's nothing for this guy to lead the team in tackles. The guy, he played for average teams. I mean, the thing was, New England, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And then they played for a Jets team that was so-so.
All right, baby.
But at the end of the day, if you know Jordan Whitehead, if you've seen him play at Pitt, if you've seen him play at all, the guy is a playmaker. This guy's going to make you a lot of plays. And just maybe because it's his hometown and his hometown team, maybe he would come play here. And I would love to see it, Derpy. If Jordan Whitehead matched back or was paired up back there with Minka, I think that the secondary improves greatly. Even with, you'd have him in a position to where somebody like Patrick Peterson was just kind of barely getting along, or the other guys, they couldn't stay healthy. I think that proves that defense greatly. And
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Whitehead, Mike,
I'm all for it. But like, I saw that
for it.
article a couple of days ago, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'd take him up in a heartbeat.
I would too. The guy's a baller. He's a playmaker. He gets his head in there. He makes he's around 100 tackles every season.
It would be nice
For a
that little
safety.
homecoming for him and Tyler Boyd.
Oh, come on. Bring these two
Oh.
guys home. Bring these two guys home. That'd be great.
One of the few times I'm all for grab someone because they're local. Those guys can ball out.
Those guys are ballers. Hey, Ron, I'm sorry to hear things like that are going on. We here are also trying to get through our own health issues as well. Not as bad as pneumonia, however. We were down and out for a few days, but we're back. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumyinzers.com. Over there, we got our merch store. We got our social media links. We got the blog. I was supposed to have my first mock draft up today, but I was, as you can tell, I was sick all weekend. So later this week, I will have one up there dealing with the Steelers, probably their first 3 to 4 picks. That's all at the2dumyinzers.com.
I'm drenched over here. You notice I had this penguin hoodie on?
Yeah.
Man, I'm like my back is soaked, and
my
I'm
back is sweaty
mess.
too.
Like a miserable mess.
I don't know how, but it's Derpy's fault.
It's definitely Derpy's fault.
No, it's Bob Nothing's fault.
But you know what? I'll take that one, Derpy. That's fair enough.
So yeah, that's let's see, Pirates, Steelers, baseball, football, basketball. Where are we at here? The Super Bowl logo for Super Bowl 59 was released the other day. It's blue and orange. People are making speculation of a Miami Dolphin orange in this new Super Bowl logo. So we'll see what kind of craziness happens over the next year. But Miami Dolphins, Mike, a lot of Dolphins fans are getting excited because of this logo.
I don't see it. They're going to get bounced in the first round of playoffs again.
I would agree.
Yeah. They're just never good. They're never good like that. I mean,
no, like we saw, man, they quit in the playoffs in the cold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You're going to have to go in the cold in the playoffs, and they're just not a team that could do it.
Yeah.
You just can't do that well. Trying to find one more thing here before we do move on. It was a little argument, a little disagreement between a couple of NFL players.
Ooh.
Man. I had it somewhere.
Spill the beans.
I'm trying, Derpy. Leave me alone.
Damn, this show has been rough for everyone today.
Oh man, none of us could barely even.
No. We're just taking everything out on each other today.
I know. All right, here we go, guys. This was Sauce Gardner said this prior to the Super Bowl. I told y'all the 49ers might look better on paper, but the Chiefs always find a way to win. This is after the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl. This is what Sauce Gardner says. And Chavarius Ward of the 49ers says, boy, yo ain't sniffed the playoffs. You watching from the couch. Worry about your sorry-ass Jets.
I mean, they're both not wrong.
No.
You can both be right.
Right.
But, you know.
But, you know, in Sauce Gardner's in his defense, providing Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have went down after 3 seconds of playing. I mean, you know, they may have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it wasn't Sauce Gardner's fault the Jets didn't win any games.
No.
And dude's like second year in the league and is already a top 5 cornerback. It's not his fault.
All right, guys, let's do this trivia of the day. This is going to be a Jaromir Jagr trivia. That's right, everybody. Jaromir Jagr trivia. Because of the big situation last night, we did retire his number at the game against the Kings. Big game. It was a big event. A lot of people came. A lot of people watched. A lot of people paid attention.
It was a weekend event. It was a great. Penguins do that stuff. They're like the best organization in all of sports when it comes time to ceremonies like that.
So here is your question of the day, guys. Your Jaromir Jagr question of the day. Derpy, Mike, everybody on the board. Here we go. What year did Jaromir Jagr leave the Penguins and never to return? I'm looking for the calendar year that Jaromir Jagr left the Penguins and never to return until last night. Take a moment to think that over, guys. We are live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you missed this show, or you just rather listen to this show, we take the brand new live show that we do every day, and we upload it over on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. If you're in the car, you're in the gym, maybe taking a walk, put your earbuds in and listen to the show only on Spotify. All right. Question of the day is this. It's a Jaromir Jagr question. What year did Jaromir Jagr leave the Penguins for good? Mike, I'm going to start with you. What year did Jagr leave?
Oh, God. 2001?
2001. Is this your final answer?
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'm going to lock you in. Derpy, over to you. What year did Jaromir Jagr leave the Penguins for good?
I'm going to go 03.
03. And then is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. The question of the day: what year did Jaromir Jagr, who had his number retired by the Penguins last night, what year did he leave the Penguins for good? Now, mind you, this is 2024. This is 2024 that we're in. Mike says 2001. Derpy says 2003. He left the Penguins in 2001. Almost a quarter century ago.
Wow.
But there you go.
Nice, Mike.
And went to the Washington Capitals for Chris Beach. A bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
He's magically going to grow.
They thought his career was going to be done at that point, maybe, you know?
Nah, it was like due to because there was no salary cap at that time. Financials, they had to let him go, unfortunately.
And they had he came up as a rookie and at 18 years old, won the 2 Stanley Cups in his first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They found out if you take his name and unscramble the letters, it actually spells Mario Jr. He was meant to be a Pittsburgher. 10 years. He had a great career. 2001 comes. He's gone. Makes a few returns in other uniforms. Nonetheless, yesterday they retire his number forever. He'll be hanging in the rafters forever.
Great. One of the greatest athletes I've ever seen play live.
You know what I'd like to see? Instead of hanging their rafter names in their number, when they die, I'd like to see their bodies hanging in the rafters forever.
Hang up their corpse like some dead dictator.
Yeah.
Like
Can you
Mussolini
imagine
hanging from a light post?
I mean, can you imagine going to a Pirate game and seeing Willie Stargell's body hanging up in the rafters? That would make I don't know. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe that's the fever talking.
I think it might be.
It's the fever.
There's a lot of fever talking today.
Yeah. Yeah, like when you were yelling at me earlier.
You were yelling at me earlier.
Oh. What? All right, just out of serious. What was the guy's name again?
Michel Briere.
Michel
Briere.
Briere.
Oh God, I can't spell that shit.
Isn't it like BRIO?
No, BIRERE. I don't know.
All right. Okay. So there you go. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
I got nothing today. I got nothing. God, it's almost draft time. I can't wait for the combine to start.
I can't wait to take
We
this
got 66 days. We got 66 days to the NFL draft. It needs to get here.
Oh, I'm so miserable.
Like this, yeah, dude. Like I had a fever, then it went away. Then I had another fever. This shit sucks. I'm just gonna crawl into a cave and die. I'll come back 3 days later. We can start the show.
I brought this whole roll of toilet paper in case I needed to start blowing my nose. Like I didn't just have a piece. I brought the whole roll. My thing, Derby. Anything before we get ready to take off?
Yes. I request Mike to get one of those mullets from last night at the Pens game.
You know what? Like we were like kind of talking about this at
How
work.
is he gonna get a mullet, Derby? Come on.
Like no,
I don't know.
Like, we were talking about this at work.
Request.
Me and my boss, he's like, you should come back after one of your vacations with like a toupee on and just act like you've always had hair.
Yeah.
Like I'm down for it. I will come in rocking one of those mullets, just acting like I had it the whole time.
My thing is, I got a couple of things here. WrestleMania 40 will be the first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon involved. Vince McMahon not being involved in WrestleMania 40 will be the very first WrestleMania.
Okay. Can't wait to see how this one plays out. When is WrestleMania? I might watch it.
It comes up sometime soon. I don't know.
It's coming
March,
up soon.
April, May. One of them months. April, March.
Maybe Cody Rhodes will break his leg and I'll be happy.
You don't like him?
I don't like Cody Rhodes. He's a mid-carder. He's like D'Lo Brown. Can't cut a promo, can barely wrestle, but people love him. He's D'Lo Brown to me.
Jake Paul says he would beat Mike Tyson. Jake Paul told CBS, I would beat him. I would beat him. I am too fast. I'm too elusive. And he's powerful and strong in his knockout power, but he can't hit me if he can't catch me.
When he backs you into a corner and beats the fuck out of you. Tyson's like, what, 60?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still got my money on Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I do too. I like Mike Tyson over this guy any day of the week. Anybody else? I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out. We do appreciate each and every one of you. We couldn't do it without you. Thank everybody on the board. And you guys always keep it interesting. I apologize that we are not at 100%, but you know what? We are giving it to you anyway. We'll be back to do it all over again tomorrow. Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Mike Tyson is 57 years old, and I think he'd still win.
Derpy?
I got nothing. Bob, nothing sucks.
All right. So, with that being said, for Mike at the Steelers Central mobile studio, for Derpy, for Michel Briere in the rafters at the arena, and myself, this is the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.